Okay, this is weird lighting, but so last night it was about 9 o'clock, 9:30, and a woman sent a message from Krabi. She was at the hospital right then. She said, Vern, I heard that you were the one to talk to about snakebite. Could I ask you some questions or something like that? And I said, so I didn't see it for about 20 minutes, and then I saw it and I hurried up to respond. But so I started chatting with her, and she was already at the hospital. She showed me photos of the bite on the top of her foot. Like right there. And just looked like a regular bite. It didn't look like the diameter of the fangs of the teeth. I wouldn't even say fangs, but the diameter of the teeth was very, very small. Pin pricks, I mean super small. It was an odd pattern, so I couldn't really figure out what what happened, like even which was the bottom and which was the top of the jaw. So anyway, I listened to her and she said that the snake was green. She was sure it was green. So I asked her, how thick was it? Was it about 1 finger or 2 fingers? And she said it was 2 fingers. I said, does she have any idea how long it was? She said it was under 1 meter. So when I heard all of that, it points right to like a small pit viper. Pit vipers, there's only one green pit viper that gets over 1 meter, and that's in the far south that we wouldn't even have in Krabi. So I was just thinking of the other pit vipers, and really we don't have many green ones there. We have a real small green one, but she's not going to have that in her house. So this happened. She stepped outside into her kitchen area, you know, when you have like an outdoor area with a sink and stuff like that. She hit the light on the way out. It was dark out there. It was about 8:30, she said. And when she went out, immediately she stepped on the snake and she felt it bite, and she looked down, I guess, and probably screamed. And her, I think she had a lady friend. I don't know why I thought it was a lady. It could have been her husband or something. Anyway, somebody else saw the snake as well, which she didn't tell me about yet. I'm thinking about green pit viper. I'm looking at the bite. There's absolutely no problem at the bite site at all. There's no swelling. The holes have closed up. They're not bleeding. They were so small that, you know, they probably bled very little to start with, if at all. But it was obvious she was bit. I mean, I could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 teeth marks on her foot. So she was definitely bitten. I asked her, does she have any sort of symptoms like pain in the foot, right? Green pit viper venom burns a lot. You know, it's highly necrotic. It's going to kill all the blood. It's going to kill tissue in there. It's going to start clotting and swelling as well. None of that. She had nothing. As we talked back and forth for so many chats, I might put it up online. I might put it up on the website and just remove her name. But I think it would be interesting for people. But I just want you to see like what the anatomy of a snake bite looks like, you know, whenever people are trying to figure out what to do for the person that was bitten. It can be extremely difficult. Emotion is involved. You know, she was bitten, looked down, and she swears up and down it was a green snake. She did at first. Come to find out, her friend said that he or she, I think she must have said she believes it was a black snake that looks like this. And they sent a picture of a Indo-Chinese rat snake, black snake with big eye, big black eye. Looks very much like a monocled cobra. So that changes things quite a bit. That's, you know, completely different venom with completely different symptoms and effects and possibilities. And so that person swore it was black like that, which also doesn't make any sense if it's a monocled cobra, because there's going to be necrosis there for sure. Every monocled cobra bite that I've seen, that I've heard about, that I've seen pictures of, video of, always had necrosis. Anywhere around Thailand, this whole area, maybe everywhere in the world, I don't know. But Thailand, the monocled cobras have it for sure. This part of the venom. Again, she had nothing. Her skin was white, like a Canadian, like in good shape. No bruise, no discoloration, nothing at all. So that didn't make sense either. It didn't make sense that it was a rat snake either. Rat snakes are not active at night. So it wasn't the Indo-Chinese rat snake. I've never seen one active at night. It wasn't a keeled rat snake, also black. Looks a little bit like that. Looks a lot like that. But they also are not active at night. By 8:30, I've never seen one. Now, I asked her about other symptoms, like does she have any symptoms from a monocled cobra bite? So does she have drooping eyelids? Does she have any muscle weakness? Does she have any stomach issues, problem breathing, weird heart rate? Does she have any of that? No, she has none of it, she said. I said, it just appears to be a dry bite. I don't know, a dry bite from what? You know, I couldn't even guess at that point. But whatever it was a dry bite. You have no symptoms that I see. I can't see anything at the bite site except the puncture marks. You have no symptoms of pit viper bite. You have no symptoms of monocled cobra bite. You have no symptoms of any sort of venomous bite. It was a dry bite, almost 100% had to be. You would have symptoms coming. Anyway, the hospital asked that she stay for 24 hours, which she agreed to, and she asked me if it was a good idea. I said, yeah, for sure, you know. Just in the wild chance, the wild off chance that maybe she was bitten by a monocled cobra that has none of those proteins that cause necrosis. I mean, I had no idea what to say, except that, yes, stay in the hospital for 24 hours and let them run the blood tests that they want to run, see what happens. I did start to suspect one other snake at this point. It is the red-necked keelback. The red-necked keelback is greenish. It's a weird, like maybe a light olive green, you might say. But it could be called green. And when it's not excited, the head might, and when it has not shed, maybe the head does not look all that different colors. Should be green, and then red neck and greenish body, some yellow on it too. You may not see all those colors really. So I was thinking it could be that one, whenever it bites, does not have necrosis at the bite site, will not have any problem with breathing and all of that. What it does is it somehow attacks the kidneys. I forget exactly what it does. It's been so long since I looked it up, but it targets the kidneys and can destroy the kidneys. So I had calls from kids, parents that were in Phuket 2 different times for kids that were bitten, extended bites by redneck keelbacks, and they were in the intensive care unit, almost dead. One kid, but he did come through. Both kids came through okay with treatment. So I started to suspect that snake a bit, because that's the only thing it could really be. So I was waiting for the results of the blood test, because they were supposed to tell her what they were. Then I went to sleep eventually around 11 or 12 after chatting with her a bunch and trying to make her feel okay about it, that, you know, there's really no symptoms, there's nothing to worry about at all. But in my mind, I'm worried a bit, because it doesn't make, like, the things that, nothing really makes sense. But anyway, so we wait for the blood test. The blood test comes back around 4 a.m. I get messages, I hear it go off, the notification on my phone. And I read the message, and it says, they want to give me this. She sent a picture of a box of the green pit viper antivenom. I said, they want to give you that for what? I said, now you have symptoms? I said, did your foot start to swell or something? Like, what happened? No, I have no symptoms on my foot at all. I have no black mark, I have no blue mark, I have no gray mark on my foot at all. I have no symptoms, I have no pain there. Like, she has no symptoms of green pit viper bite. I said, what did they find in the blood test? I said, they must have found something. She sent a video of her holding a tube of blood. See, I might post all these on a, maybe I'll post all of this on a web page. Anyway, so she's holding a tube of her blood and shaking it, and it's, to me, it looks thick. It looks like some platelets have been activated, you know, for clotting. And I don't know, was that going on behind the scenes or something? And then I really started to think about redneck keelback, because this is kind of how it would go. Now, anyway, so they wanted to give her that. I said, look, they have now, supposedly they have blood tests that show that there's some serious issue. They think that giving the antivenom will help it. I said, I can't stand in the way of that, because I don't know what the blood test showed. I said, if they want you to get it, I said, get it. I said, but your husband, who was sitting there with her, I said, tell your husband to look for these symptoms of you after they start the IV with the antivenom in there. Tell him to watch you all the time and ask you questions and find out, do you have any of the symptoms of anaphylaxis, which is the allergy to, which is what results from the allergy to the antivenom, because so many people are allergic to it. There is a doctor I'm friends with, a German doctor in Laos that treats venomous snake bites all the time. He said the allergic reaction percentage of people that are allergic to it in Laos, this is the Queen Salvabha first aid, what is it, snake, Queen Salvabha QS Snake Farm or whatever it is, like our Red Cross Center, I can't remember what exactly the name is. Anyway, it's the one in Bangkok that makes the antivenom. The people in Laos, they use that antivenom. Anyway, the people that this guy treats, something like half or more are allergic to the antivenom. So he has to be ready with a shot of adrenaline, you know, to counteract it. Or these people might die, right? Anyway, she gets the intravenous. It starts, it finishes. She's okay. Husband doesn't notice anything. The nurse is even coming in to ask her many questions about, do you feel this? Do you feel this weirdness? Like symptoms of anaphylaxis, right? There's nothing. She says, you know, she's worried. She's like, I just got this jab for the vaccine last week or something. Is this going to interfere? You know, I have no idea. Can't help her feel better about it. So That was it. Went back to sleep, woke up. She said, they're telling me that it's this snake. And she sent a picture of a web page. I said, yeah. I said, redneck keelback. I said, that's the only thing it really could be. I said, apparently their blood tests that they did gave them some result that they could match. Hopefully there's some database in Thailand where clinicians can actually match up results and get a feeling for what snake it might have been due to like the blood test results, right? So maybe it showed something in the kidneys. I have no idea what the test showed. I did ask her to get a copy of the blood tests if she could. Don't know if she did. Don't know if she even asked. Who knows? Anyway, I hope to see that. But do I believe it was the redneck keelback? Possibly, I guess. See, the problem with it being that snake is that the redneck keelback has no fangs for injecting venom. There's no hollow tube in the fang. I don't think it's even grooved. I'll have to look it up again. It's been so long. I don't think it's even grooved. They have rear fangs, or rear enlarged teeth. They're not true fangs. The venom is extremely strong. The LD50 scale of venom, I saw at least one, but I think I saw two studies where the LD50 venom strength was off the chart. It was crazy strong, and by that I mean it was something like the Malayan crate or one of the Australian snakes. I mean, it was super strong. One of the top 10, let's say, in the world. That's how strong it is. They have no way to inject that venom under the skin, though. So what must happen with that snake is it has to bite for an extended period of time. See, the venom is in the saliva, right? It just comes out whenever. It comes as an aid to saliva, as an aid to help digest whatever the snake is eating. So it's in the mouth all the time. When that snake bites you, it would need to hold on and probably twist and chew and like rip open the holes that it's making with the teeth to allow the saliva basically to get into those wounds. And that would cause a problem. So that's what happened with the boys in Phuket. That's what happened with other bites by the species that I saw that became medically significant. Is it was extended bites of like 20 seconds and more, and multiple bites, sometimes of 20 seconds, 18 seconds. One lady said, somebody said 30, 45 seconds. So that's how much time it needs. How long was the time of her bite she estimated? Less than 2 seconds. So the possibility is that some tiny bit of the venom got into the holes and caused something in that blood test to trigger, and something that matched results for the redneck keelback. That's as good as our guess is. It's the only thing that really seems to make any sense, but it's really quite scary just how powerful that venom is. This used to be a snake that people kept in their homes. Kids kept them all the time, picked them up, played with them, because they're pretty much non-biting. If the snake doesn't feel well or something, maybe it will bite. And apparently that's what happened to the kids that I followed their case after they were in the hospital. That's what happened with them. So just to show you that, I just wanted to document it like this for myself, but for other people as well. Like, this is how a snake bite goes. And then later she sent me another picture of a different rat snake, a radiated rat snake, Colognathus radiata, And she said, "This is the snake that bit me." This is a yellow snake with vertical lines, vertical stripes, on the neck. And looks nothing like either of the first two snakes that she said she was bitten by. And that snake has no fangs. That snake is not active at night. It should be sleeping by 8:30 or in a tree or whatever, or in a bush. That snake is not supposed to have any strong venom. Every snake has some sort of venom. It's within the saliva, right? But I mean, probably that snake was not really tested in the past very well. I've never heard about rat snakes being tested for venom because when they bite, there's no effect of venom, so they figure there's no harmful venom. But it's almost anybody's guess at this point. But my money would be on the redneck keelback. It's something of a green color. It's under a meter, usually. It's 2-3 fingers thick. The big ones could be like that. If you stepped on it, it will bite. That's about the only way it will bite. I could see it making the pattern that I saw on her foot, the hole pattern. I could see that, and then I could see something showing up in the blood test that the doctors were like, huh? That looks like a different snake altogether. So, was the hospital wrong to give the green pit viper antivenom? Yes. There's no doubt about that. I got confirmation from my German friend, the PhD that treats snake bites in Laos. He said there's no indication for it. There were no symptoms for that. I think, and this is before she was told that they had any blood tests back at all. So definitely there was no indication for it. Anyway, that's how it goes. A lot of emotion, when you get bitten by a snake, and though you think you might remember exactly what it was, you might be remembering snakes that you saw in your yard, or you might assume that, oh, it was that snake in my yard, and the mind makes up whatever it wants to see. And I've seen that a number of times. And just weird. Anyway, so try to get a picture. I think they probably could have got a picture if they really thought about it, but they didn't think about it, I guess. It would have helped tremendously. It could have saved her 24 hours in the hospital, probably. Anyway, that's that. Hope it helps just to hear this and to think about what all goes into figuring out, like, what actually is the problem. Is this lady gonna die in the next hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 25 hours? How long should she stay in the hospital? Like with cobra bites, she should be in the hospital 24 hours at least. You could have some strong symptoms show up later. But just interesting how it all happens. Anyway, hope that helps somebody. All right, cheers.